3. Overseconds. 5. When too obvious and clear. A mindful phrasing too often leads astray, I would assume. At first, this seems to be hint why to meditate, but I guess that is wrong. I figured this must be true later when arriving at where my ego had while being the border when established where to navigate my steps so I don't fray from the unovercomable bound that is the distance to perceive, but comprehending that for my own, my regarding self, the ego must be the one stellaring the landscapes thrust down the sky onto it, for that this, the ego, is best from the wastelands shadowed to be the border, described well, I guess, as in between to the wastelands around to the surroundings. So for that mind fueling, not mindfulness, I guess, is the ego's desolation to forgrave strive caused at this obvious to clear is a wrong phrasing by that obvious so that to is etching in, meaning obvious for clear. Or is the correct additional thought to meditating. This hence of etching on in to something is correlated for it can be biased and drawn towards it is and for it consequential questioning till effort is tuned by through leaving the wasteland's ego round rain-drawn drafts or increments by withered stone molds or only flowers blooming, thus nomination. Where the thought to be indirect where want is knowing at least by partial etching on must be by reason, for with ever in to in down at nothing is a in down instead of by knotted at now not rallying till true effort is established, meaning nomination. There is drain till in down of process while meditating, hence cause, search, not else. For I figured an attitude in decline to using or opinion that mindful phrasing seems even relevant, better said, counter-constructive. This leading away from the void not to arrive, hence the overseconds destining me to the fallout by that average silence around and surrounding a truth is withdrawing attention so that halting is the mistake, thus by notice of this to forget damaging leaves are at the idea of force that occurred from meditating that had been of hindrance to be implemented. For example, realize that attempt is completion to arrive at meditation to be so from that search is also meditation when the different perspectives so that search be or was be, meaning can accustomed to not accustoming is the more to a definite meditation, not disregarding that these implementations leave a void, hence where basic so while unnegotiated first and for it the second partial of the fallout doctrine, every fallout to arrive leaves a certain that an overcomer boundary will be set, like an almost infinite amount of silences or void, for that around the truth are left to sheer steps by their overcome, like forming an overcomable by their infinity. This is by notice that implementations are constructed towards their own, but that they portray meaning and for it in so have no direct opposite, hence meaning portrayed leaves and postulate that true and for it hierarchy to the opposition instead of a question to have an unknown not owning their meaning but portray meaning owning that they mean that meaning. So for recompletion is first to formulate a question, thus not opposite symmetry but downwards hierarchy, the unknown being a second to thought not inevitable to rival with, thus the trembling steps around the truth creating void are with at fault of implementation, as for that is noticed that these can be to themselves in new regard a completion by that understanding of this concepted hierarchy, not notice each leaving a void, thus hence all of truth, not of truth, overcomable by its infinity, only leaving a step to walk for and be outdone with. For that I figured, what of truth is essentially this description singular.